Hello, this is Mr. Collier, and today we're looking at capacity. Okay, capacity of a container is a measure of volume it can hold. We can think of it as a space within the container. Okay, so often you use things like milliliters and liters in real life to indicate capacity. So you might see that on bottles of water and milk and stuff like that. So you can think about it as how much liquid something contains, but it doesn't have to be a liquid. It could be a gas, it could be sand or something like that, but we can measure those things in milliliters. But 1 milliliter is actually equal to 1 cubic centimeter. So we actually don't even really need the units milliliter and liter and things like that, because they're one and the same. Okay, so as long as you remember that 1 milliliter equals 1 cubic centimeter, then you can always figure out how many milliliters a prism or a cylinder contains, just by this simple conversion. Okay, here's some examples. This is a megaliter, so that's a lot of liters. That's like 1,000,000 liters. So it's things like dams, reservoirs, and lakes are measured in things like that, right? Okay, so here's a visual representation. If you got a 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter box, that's 1 milliliter. And if you got a 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter box, you can fit a whole liter in there, because that's 1,000 cubic centimeters, and that's equal to 1,000 milliliters, which equals 1 liter. Okay, so very important, again, remember that 1 cubic centimeter equals 1 milliliter. Okay, and here's a conversion. So it's just like kilometers and kilograms. A kiloliter is 1,000 liters. A milliliter is 1,000th of a liter, and this is megaliter. You won't use that so often, but that's 1,000 kiloliters. Okay, let's do some examples. How many milliliters liquid fits in here? So you just need to find the volume. It's already in centimeters, so that's good. We just do 3 times 4 times 5. Okay, that equals 20 times 3, 60 cubic centimeters. So remember, that's exactly the same as milliliters. Okay, the next one, same thing. Volume of a prism, 2 times 5 times 20. Make sure you have the same units. Sometimes those aren't the same. And it's actually useful to keep them all in centimeters. So this is equal to 200 cubic centimeters, so it is 200 milliliters. They're one and the same. Okay, next example, find the capacity in kiloliters of a cylindrical tank with these measurements. Okay, so let's draw a picture. I like to use centimeters, because centimeters can relate to those milliliters on a one-to-one relationship. So let's write this as centimeters, and this is 400 centimeters. Diameter, so that's the diameter. The radius is 200. So the radius here is 200. The height is 300 centimeters. And recall the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. Okay, so this is going to be 200 squared times 300, which equals, that's 40,000 times 300 pi, which equals 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with 6 zeros, that's 12 million pi. And we do it on our calculator, and we're going to get this huge number. It's approximately now, because I'm rounding this decimal. 37,600. Oh, sorry, it's 37,699,111.8 cubic centimeters. Okay, so remember that equals milliliters. So that means if we want kiloliters, then we divide by 1,000 to get just liters, and we divide by another 1,000 to get kiloliters. So this is 37.7 kiloliters. Okay, let's look at one more example. Here's a swimming pool, and swimming pools are often like a trapezoidal prism, right? This is a trapezoid here as the base, and this is the height or the length of the prism is 5. So we can get the area of the base times the height, and then we've got the volume. So again, I like to use centimeters. So this is 500 centimeters. It's 300 centimeters. 2,000 centimeters. And 100 centimeters are these dimensions right here, right? So if I look at the trapezoid, that is 100 and 300 centimeters, and this distance is 500. Okay, so the area of trapezoid, recall this is a right angle, so that's a right angle, is half base 1 plus base 2, okay, times the height of the trapezoid, not the height of the prism, the height of the trapezoid, which is 2,000. So it's going to be half of, this is going to be 400, half of 400 is 200, so 200 times 2,000 gives me 4 with 5 zeros. That's 400,000 cubic or square centimeters. So the volume is that area, the area of the base times the height of the prism, which is 500 centimeters. 4 times 5 is 20. And then I've got an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 zeros. Okay, so that's 200 million cubic centimeters. And we want, that's same as milliliters, and we want kiloliters. So I divide by 1,000 to get liters. I divide by 1,000 to get kiloliters. It's 200 kiloliters. Okay, how much water is in my glass? I need to take a couple of measurements. Okay, the first measurement I'm going to take is the diameter. Looks like about 7 centimeters. And I need the height, but there's a little bit of, the water only starts on the bottom here, so I'm gonna put it down here and measure. It's about 13 centimeters.